Hey, what's up guys? I'm like really struggling to find a video for this weekend. It's Saturday night and I haven't shot one at all, which is really unlike me. But what I'm doing is I'm actually sneaking into Lawn Kid Jake's yard. Look at that sunset, by the way. Can you see that? Look at that. Freaking awesome. Hey, what's up lawn care nuts? Happy Sunday. Well, I gotta admit something to you. I don't really have a topic for a video this week. I filmed a lot of stuff, but it wasn't anything really that I could put together as like a how-to or a tutorial or anything. But I do have some good updates to give you guys. As you know, I've been letting the lawn go dormant and actually been getting a little bit of rain, but not enough to really give it all the water it needs. So it's in this really strange in-between phase and it just looks horrible. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this time today to talk about something that you may have heard about in the news. And that is, it was on Good Morning America and there was a story about TruGreen ghosting lawn. And so this gives me an opportunity. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Look at this thistle. Let me show you how a man handles a thistle. That's right. You mortals, you can't do this. But the lawn care nut can. Right, baby. I pull my thistles by hand, except for I miss the root. So you know what that means? She's gonna grow right back. Fail. You chose the wrong landscape. Now your blood is all over the pavement. I'll link below to the video from Good Morning America so you can go ahead and watch the story and then come back here and you can get my opinions. Now the first thing that's funny is Good Morning America decided to do all this research and they went to the Better Business Bureau who said that they had more than 5,500 complaints about lawn care companies in 2014. How many hundreds of thousands of lawns are taken care of every single day in this country by lawn care professionals? And oh my God, 5,500 complaints in 2014. This industry must be so shady, Good Morning America. So what ghosting is it's when a lawn care technician, a spray technician, mind you, not a lawn mowing guy. It's really hard to, I don't know how a lawn mowing guy could ghost. But anyway, what ghosting is when a spray technician says they sprayed the lawn or applied product to the lawn when in fact they didn't, but they still left you a bill. What really comes into play and no one talks about is when they're actually filling out the paperwork that says they applied product to your lawn, that's actually a legal document. It's required by the state in most cases. And in fact, you have to have a license in order to apply those pesticides commercially like that. So that technician is not only ghosting and lying to the customer, they're also breaking the law. So listen up folks and listen carefully. If a lawn technician that works for TruGreen or any other lawn care company decides that he's going to ghost a lawn, that he's going to lie about treating a lawn, that is not a reflection of the company. That is a direct reflection on that individual and his poor character, not the company that employed him. And when I worked for TruGreen, there were a lot of things I didn't like, but I could have said that about any corporation across America. The one thing I will say though about TruGreen upper management and the people I always worked for is it was an honest company. And we were owned by a company called Service Master, whose #1 company attribute was to honor God in all we do. And I always appreciated that. So the fact that this lawn technician ghosted a lawn, does that mean that TruGreen's a bad company? No, it does not. It means that he is a liar. But in some cases, shady customers or liar customers or customers with poor character would think they could get out of it by calling the office and saying, I was here all day. I could see my front and back lawn all day. And I know he wasn't here. And in fact, you marked the bill that he was here at 1:30 p.m. I was in my front lawn with my 7 grandkids playing in the sprinkler all afternoon. There's no way he could have sprayed. So what happens in this case is the customer says, your technician lied, he ghosted. So you can see then how this can create a dilemma for me, the manager. I've got #1, my employee that I have to think did something wrong, and #2, a customer that I have to make sure that I satisfy. I have the interest of both in mind though, especially if it's an employee who I know by his character from working with him for many years. The reason I'm bringing this up is because in the end of the story, they said they tried to give you tips on, oh, how can you stop this from happening, right? And they tell you, oh, well, install cameras or know when they're coming. And yeah, those are good ideas. But the number one way that happens almost every time that I can prove whether a lawn that was ghosted or not is if it was done with a granular fertilizer and it was within, you know, a few hours of the application where there's been no rain. First thing I would do when I had an accusation of ghosting on one of my employees is I'd go right to the paperwork for that exact application and I would read it. And the first thing I would look for is, was this a granular application today? So I considered it a lucky day when I found paperwork and it was indeed a granular application. Why is that, Al? Why would the granular mean so much? Okay, so I don't have any synthetic fertilizer available today, but what I do have is this sand, and it's going to simulate fertilizer. And these sand granules are actually smaller than regular fertilizer pellets, but these are going to be my simulation, so check this out. So ready, here's a simulated application, and I'm going to spread it out as far as I can. Ready? Okay, very non-scientific, but I think you're going to get the idea. So when I would get this complaint and it was granular, I would immediately go to the lawn and I would go to the edges in about 3 or 4 different spots on the lawn. And this is what I would do, is I would look for granulars. And the very first place that I'm going to look for granulars is on the hard surfaces, because even the guys that clean up the best always miss a few. And so there's a grain right there. And again, this is white sand. Most of the fertilizer that lawn care companies use is got some coloring to it. So you can see all the sand pellets I'm picking up there just by doing this. So if those were fertilizer pellets, then I would know that this area of the lawn, at least right here, was fertilized. And then I could also go into other areas like this of the lawn, and all I really had to do was get down and find something like this. And you can see here, this, whatever this is here in the lawn, see the couple pellets hung up on it there? Those are pieces of sand, but I would find those. And then I could even, you know, dig myself into areas down here, see? I could dig in like this, and look at what I'm finding are some sand pellets. I hope you can see those on the camera. And so I would go around different parts of the lawn, and more times than not, I would actually find the granulars there, which indicated to me that the customer was mistaken or lying. When this would happen, I'd have a little bit of fun with them, and what I would do is I would call the technician who was being accused on the radio right there, and I would say, hey Timmy, I'm standing here with Mrs. Jones, and she says there's no way you could have done this lawn, but you said you did. I found granulars everywhere, which makes me think that you did do the application and Mrs. Jones here is mistaken. But you know what, Timmy? I've got to believe her. I've got to believe the customer. So you're fired. And I'd hang up on the radio, and I'd do that right in front of the customer. Then Timmy would call back, and he would say, I'm so sorry. And then I would call back on the radio and say, Timmy, I don't care if your wife just had twins and you're taking care of your sick grandma. You're fired. We don't hire liars. Right in front of the customer, I'd be doing this. And you know what? I probably did that. I act like I did that all the time. I only did that like 3 or 4 times. But I can tell you, out of those 3 or 4 times, never one time did the customer go, no, you know what? I lied. Never. They always stuck to their story and just sat there and let it happen. I guess that's that Midwest charm, or maybe that's just how Chicagoans are. Look here, I don't care if little Timmy gets fired. He didn't do my freaking lawn. Get him out of the company. So if you think your lawn was ghosted, just check for those granulars. Might save you a little bit of hassle. Alright, well there's my opinion on the whole ghosting thing. I hope this has been a fun video for you anyway. Something a little bit different, and we're still on track to move. These are my favorite shoes, and they have dog poop on them. I gotta clean it off. It's one of the worst things ever.
Well, President Eisenhower was forced to cancel his trip back east today due to that young lady by the name of Brenda.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Reason. I hope you do.
Anyway, I'm sneaking into Jake the Lawn Kid's yard. Him and his family are out of town this weekend, and so I'm gonna use that right there, fire pit. When you move, you end up having to get rid of a lot of stuff. Well, I don't have a shredder, and shredding used to be fun, but there's something that's just a lot more fun when it comes to getting rid of private documents.
Baby, and you alone, I love you. Baby, and you alone.
Alright, so I got everything I need. I got a little bit of wine.
Baby, and you alone, I love you. Baby, and you alone.
step